And we are back on Sportsman Radio. I'm your host, Chris Shanafel, and I am now joined by NFL Pro Bowl offensive guard Leonard Davis. Thanks for joining the show, Leonard. How's it going?
It's going great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for coming on the show, man. I appreciate it. So, Leonard, I want to start this interview off by asking you, pretty much, how would you describe your experience at the University of Texas?
My experience at the University of Texas was I had a lot of fun when I was there, but also it was kind of learning and growing up. Get away from home, and you're on your own for the first time, and I think the experience helped for later in life too.
Now, I believe you grew up in Texas. Was that one of the main reasons why you decided to go to the University of Texas?
Yeah, that was probably the main reason I went there. And it was pretty much Texas and Texas A&M, and I was actually committed to A&M, almost. For the whole school year, and then I took my visit to Texas, and I changed my mind, and I ended up there.
With the second overall pick in the 2001 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select guard Leonard Davis out of the University of Texas. How was that moment for you, Leonard, to achieve your dream and make it to the NFL?
I was very excited about it because I always knew growing up, when I was a little kid that, was going to play in the NFL, and I just knew if I, did the right thing and stay out of trouble and all that, then I'd have a chance to have the opportunity to make it. When, actually getting there at the draft and getting selected, had a lot of family that was there, and also a couple other guys that I've always known, like Mike Stick, and Sebastian Tomlinson, and a couple other guys. Those guys, they're great guys. We've always had good times together leading up to that point.
Did any of the veterans on that Cardinals squad make you or any of the other rookies do anything such as, give you guys funny or messed up looking haircuts, carry pads, or bring food like they do nowadays?
You know what? Actually, that's a great question, because when I signed, I told those guys, I said I'm not gonna do anything that I wouldn't make some other guys do, and in all honesty, I didn't carry pads and helmets and all of that, but I did have to make sure breakfast was there on Fridays, and because it was myself and three other rookies, so I was in charge of that. But as far as the hazing, the extent of what it, how it's done nowadays, I didn't really have to go through it, but also even now, being on the other side, I don't make guys do that kind of stuff. So it's just more of a respect thing, because those guys, they respected me, so I didn't really have to do a whole lot.
Well, what would happen if a rookie came in, let's say this season, and disrespected you, Leonard Davis?
I don't know. It's hard to say, because I haven't been disrespected really, and a lot of the guys they respected me, and I don't really ask a lot, of them. I just I'm more so just there to help them along and show them the ropes, and like how to be a pro, and how to prepare for games, and how to be able to prepare to be can't really answer that question.
Hey, man, I think that's a good thing that you can't answer that question. Now, Leonard, if you remember, can you tell us about that first NFL game that you played in?
The first game I played in, I believe, I was, actually, my first preseason game, I think it was against Chicago. Yeah, I played a little against Chicago, but I think the actual first regular season game was actually against Seattle, and it was against John Randall. And actually, I was a little nervous. I was a little nervous. Leading up to that game, just because John Randall is John Randall, and you gotta respect the guy, and he's been around a long time, and he was a dominant player, and I was a little nervous at first, and then after a while, it kind of wore off, and you just kind of get into your groove and find your niche, and really start to excel and get better playing football.
Now, after playing guard for 3 seasons in the NFL, you switched to left tackle. Was that transition tough at all?
Actually, it was easy. I mean, it was actually easier than most people thought. And just for the fact that, for me, when I was playing left, when I got moved to left tackle, it was easy because playing left tackle or really any position, whether it's left guard or left tackle, has always been natural for me. So I never had to really think okay, I need to move this foot here and move that one there, and I never had to think. It was just all natural. So when I got moved there, I actually embraced it because supposedly it was a challenge, because I haven't played that position, on the professional level yet, but when I got moved out there, I felt good about it, and obviously my teammates and the coaches, they felt good about it, and just went out and just played and dominate guys.
And in 2007, after your time in Arizona, Mr. Leonard Davis, you got paid, man. You signed a 7-year contract worth over $49 million with over $18 million guaranteed. I got to think you're pretty happy to be a part of the Dallas Cowboys organization after signing that, weren't you?
Yeah, I was excited. I mean, it wasn't, not just a financial deal. I wanted to go, and I felt like, that I was going to be on a team that it felt like, we were going to be good, and we were going to do something special, and I mean, obviously we didn't win a Super Bowl, but we had a good team, we were there, and the guys that I played with, the Andre Gerard and Mark Colombo and Slover Adams, those guys, we were very close, and there was a lot of camaraderie that was there. So it was, just the attitude, the mentality that before, like, I never really experienced being a part of, and I think that's what really made it fun, is just knowing that win or lose, we were going to go out and beat people up. So that was what was really fun about being there and playing with those guys.
Now, Leonard, what do you think about Tony Romo recently getting that 6-year, $108 million contract? Now, it's not so much the dollar amount that sticks out to me. It's the 6 years. Is Tony Romo a quarterback that you want for the next 6 years for your franchise?
Yeah, Tony Romo can play football. I think, people don't give him the credit that, that he's due. And if you really look at it, he's, over these past couple years, he's gotten better. Nobody can dispute that. And, and given circumstances around him, guys, been injured and, not been out there. And, he's actually gotten better, as he's gotten older. And so I think, in all honesty, I think he's worked that to him because, where are you going to find, a younger guy, to play at that level right now at this point in time? It's pretty much going to be impossible.
Leonard, if you don't mind me asking, what kind of relationship did you have with Jerry Jones?
The relationship that I had with him was good. I didn't have any problems, or any hard feelings or anything like that towards him at all or whatsoever. Even after I got let go, he was the kind of guy that he came out, during practice, and he talked to the players, and he talked to me, asked about how the family doing, and all that. I never had any hard feelings. Our relationship together, our relationship towards each other was I thought how it should have been.
Now, during your time in Dallas, you made 3 Pro Bowls. Does that mean anything to you to be voted to the Pro Bowl 3 times by fans, players, and coaches around the NFL?
It was all right. I guess like after you get the first one, you kind of see what it is, but then like you really realize that you look at the big picture, there's something bigger out there, and you want to go and win more games in the playoffs, and ultimately win the Super Bowl. So I think as far as those, the accolades will come with the victories.
You guys are listening to Sportsman Radio. I'm your host, Chris Schanfeld, talking with NFL offensive lineman Leonard Davis. Leonard, let's talk a little bit about this past season where you were with the San Francisco 49ers, and you guys had an interesting season, making it to Super Bowl 47. Now, unfortunately, you guys just fell short to the Baltimore Ravens, 34-31, in what would be a very interesting game. But can you tell us about how it was to be a part of the biggest game of all sports?
Oh man, it is hard to really explain it. There's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of I wouldn't say anxiety. I guess if it's anxiety, it's in a good way. Like you just really look forward to the game and just being out there. It's like wow, this is the game. This is the big one. This is what you play for all year, and and you go out and play, and give it up, for not only yourself but your team and your family that are watching, and it's to play in that game. It's very, very exciting to be in that game.
And this game will be remembered for a long time down the road, not only just because it was a great game, you guys pulled out a great comeback, unfortunately falling just short, but the power went out. What were you thinking once the power went out during that game?
I was kind of more like, man, what in the world is going on here? and just looking. You just kind of looking around, and the game is like not going on, and then then you got like all these guys in the suits coming out and walking around on the field, and then you just kind of like wow, like this really just happened. I mean, that's really the only question I think that I heard, the whole time. But things happen and it happened, and the game is it resumed and it went on and finished. So, but yeah, I was in kind of in awe about the whole deal.
Now, week 9 of last season against the Rams, I believe it was, quarterback Alex Smith suffered a concussion, and Colin Kaepernick came in and did his thing, played terrific, and Kaepernick went on to play the rest of the season and into the playoffs and the Super Bowl. Leonard, what were you thinking when Coach Harbaugh said that Kaepernick, a second-year player, was going to be the starter for the 49ers?
I've always been a guy that when that was announced, I didn't really worry about it. I'm more whoever can get the job done, that's all that really matters to me, because in the end, it's all about wins and losses, and obviously he got the job done, so we, there was no problem, with him stepping in and playing.
And right now, Leonard, you are a free agent and not retired, isn't that right?
That's right. Yep, I'm a free agent. I'm out here in Phoenix, Arizona, and I've just been working out at Fisher Sports. Brett Fisher, I've known him for a long time, and just been doing that and hanging out with the family, taking care of the girls, and that's about it.
Are you still a part of that heavy metal rock band Free Reign?
Yep.
Now,
still part of that.
Now, Leonard, I have just a few quick, fun questions to get to know you a bit, and then I want to talk a little bit about that band. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, Leonard, what is your favorite TV show and movie?
I think one of my favorite TV shows is Ice Road Truckers. That's probably Ice Road Truckers and Gold Rush. Those are probably my two favorite shows. And then as far as movies, probably my all-time favorite movie is Terminator 2: Judgment Day. I've probably watched that movie 1,000 times, and I could watch it, 2 or 3 more times a day if I got in the mood.
Favorite thing to eat?
Favorite thing to eat would be, I love smash burgers, but they have to be seasoned right though. If they're not seasoned right, then they're just any other burger. But it definitely has to be a smash burger.
Leonard, you're on Twitter at the Leonard Davis. Why do you make it important to connect with your fans?
I think it's important to connect with the fans. I think to be able to communicate with them, and it just kind of opens your world up to let them in your world if they want to see what you're doing or see how you're doing, they can kind of check up on you or even just communicating with them. Sometimes I think it's fine for athletes or celebrities to actually be able to communicate with the people that lie behind them.
Except for football, what is your favorite sport?
Basketball.
If you're able to meet any...
I played...
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, sorry, Leonard, you go ahead.
I was just saying, basketball, I played basketball growing up all my life, and I played it all the time after school, and, other than when,
You also won a state championship in high school, isn't that right?
Yep. Won a state championship, 27-2 record, and that record at our high school still stands today as the best record. So just kind of waiting for that team to come along and break it. Because, those records are always meant to be broken, but the question is just how long.
Mm-hmm. Leonard, if you were able to meet any famous person, who would that be and why?
I really like to meet Terry Crews. I've never met him, but the movies that I've watched him in, the guy is just, he's funny, he's hilarious, and I think he'd probably be the celebrity I definitely would like to meet.
All right, not a bad one right there. I'll tell you that is not a bad one. Now, Leonard, let's get to that heavy metal rock band that you got. It's called Free Reign, and it's actually built up with some former Dallas Cowboys players with yourself, Mark Colombo, Corey Proctor, and Justin Chapman. You want to tell us a little bit more about the band Free Reign, Leonard?
Yeah, Free Reign is a band that got established. The name came about with Mark and Corey. They were doing they were basically a two-man band, just kind of, peeling around different bars and whatnot, and they were, I think Corey was the one that actually came up with the name, and it was, the name Free Reign came about because we got free reign to do what we want to do, and so that's how it came about, and how I came a part of the band was Mark and Corey had a charity event to participate in, and they found out that I played bass, and so Mark, he asked me if I wanted to play, and I said, well, I guess so, and that's how I became part of the band, and I absolutely had no idea what I was doing, but Mark, he taught me how to play those songs, and from that point on, then that's how it went for me, and then I think we did another show, Toys for Tots. The Toys for Tots charity event at House of Blues, and Justin was there for that, and he saw us play, and then after that, then we asked him if he wanted to play with us, and he agreed that he would do it, and from there, that's when it really took off. That's when our music, really became, more of what it is today, and I would probably say he probably had the most to do with it, just pushing us and challenging us to all get better, and we did, and the music that you hear today is a lot of it has to do with, because of him.
Now, I'm basing this off of looks, man. Now, it looks like Mark Colombo could be the singer. Is that right?
Yeah, Mark's a singer. He's always the lead guy. He wants the attention, but we give him a hard time about that all the time. But it's all good, and no bad feelings from the other three of us. But Justin, he plays the lead guitar, and then Corey, he's on the drums, and then I'm on the bass, we really enjoy the times when we do get to get together and actually perform, and it's kind of like football. It's everybody has to do their part to make it successful, and make it in our in that aspect to make it sound good.
Yeah, man, that sounds absolutely great. Leonard, I cannot thank you enough for your time on the show. It's been a true pleasure. Before I let you go, is there anything you'd like to plug on the air for myself and our listeners?
I think said my favorite song is Bleed for Me. That's probably my favorite one that we play. So if you could just let's play that and let the fans hear what we got for you guys, and then stay tuned. We'll be coming out with something new probably sometime soon, maybe.
Hey, that sounds great, Leonard. Really want to thank you for your time on the show today, and best of luck and take care.